Right, hello and welcome to Coffee with the County. I am here today with Veronica Lundquist. She is a member and employee of the SWCD. Hello, Veronica.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Pretty good. Excited to be here. I don't have coffee though, so.
No, it's coffee with the county, but you can drink whatever you want. You can have, and you were in Nashville not that long ago,
I
so
was.
I'm sure you can drink whatever you want in Nashville. That's always good. SWCD, what the heck is that?
Soil and Water Conservation District.
And
so
what does that mean?
that's a tough question, but I guess the gist of it is to protect soil and water in the county. A lot of people, because it's Aiken County Soil and Water, they think we're county employees, but we're actually not. We're technically a local government unit that is funded through state grants, county grants, government grants, and well, for a while it was funded, the jurisdictional lines were the county, but now with One Watershed, One Plans, we're expanding throughout into different counties and working with other counties, and we don't really have that jurisdictional boundary anymore.
So you work with other nameless, faceless counties other than Aiken County as well?
Unfortunately, yes,
Yeah.
but it's great to build those partnerships. It's really fun to spread out past the Aiken County border.
So I saw just in the last election, I think do a couple of members have to be elected into the SWCD? Is that correct?
Yep, so we have 5 elected board members, and they're technically the people that are telling us what we can and cannot do. They're kind of like our head honcho bosses. They're kind of like county commissioners, but just a one step down. And those are elected by county members of the landowners of the county. So you're
citizens. And
yep.
Like regular election voting.
Yep. Yeah. So when people think that we're not doing things that they want them to do, we have to remind them that you are electing the people that are telling us what to do. So in a way, you're choosing how we can spend our money through the state or federal or county money.
Yeah, which is a good, like a government, any government entity is for the people, works for the people. So
Yep.
whatever the people want to have done, they have to become involved in order to get those things done, or they have to speak up with a voice. So you want to tell me who is on the SWCD for Aiken County?
Yes. So we have a couple different zones, and they're kind of split up just like the county commissioners. We have Frank Turnock. He is kind of in the Lawler area. He does that jurisdictional area. And then we have Dan Gravely. He is down by McGrath. Then we have Bob Jansen, which is in the Aiken County or Aiken City area. And then we have Tom Fastland, and he's up in Hill City. And then we have Francis Diedrich, which is kind of by Palisade area. And those are our 5.
Those are your 5 board members. And then
Yep.
there's certain employees that work for the SWCD?
Yep. Yeah, so then there's us district technicians. So there's me. I do soil health and outreach for the district. So you'll see me sometimes in the paper or out in the field looking at cover crops and different pollinator plantings. Then we have Chelsea Kobernick. She does our shoreline and wetland stuff. So you may need to restore your shoreline. That's going to be her. And then we have Sam Siebold. He does buffers, culverts, and kind of dabbling in forestry right now. He might be doing some forest management plans here. But he's the one that if townships want to do a culvert inventory, he's the person that you want to reach out to. So a couple different townships have done that. And then we have Janet Smoody, our district manager. She's our head honcho, kind of keeps us all together and keeps us moving.
She's the boss's boss, the thing that keeps everything going in the right direction.
Yep. And then Lori Nelson is our administrator, and she handles all the money for us and kind of keeps everything together too. Lori and Janet are lifesavers.
That sounds like a great team. There's a couple of really famous names in there with Frank Turnock and Jansen. And
Yep.
Yeah, it seems like there's a couple of celebrities that you get to deal with on your board.
Yeah, Frank Turnock, we just actually interviewed on our podcast, and he's been a board member for almost 40 years, I think it is now. So
all with the SWCD?
All with the SWCD.
Wow, that is crazy to think. That's great public service. That's the way it should be.
A lot of history.
Wow, yeah, I suppose we can learn from them. So you're an employee of SWCD, and like I said, Veronica Lundquist. Mm-hmm. Where did you come from, Veronica? Let's talk about you a little bit and your background and what got you here into Aiken County.
Yeah, well, dirty little secret is I grew up in the cities. Didn't grow up on a farm, but didn't want to be in the cities anymore. So once I graduated high school, I packed up my bags and moved up to Crookston, Minnesota, which is, if you're not familiar, like the corner of North Dakota and Canada. Crookston's a small little university town right up there. We're about an hour from the Canadian border and 25 minutes from the North Dakota border. So I spent 4.5 years up there, ended up getting my natural resource management degree and my agronomy crop production degree. So I was switching into more so health practices and trying to promote good cover on the land, kind of what I'm doing right now. And then from there, I worked for a ecological restoration company called MNL, and that was located in Otsego. Spent a year there and then wanted to move up and kind of out of that area and get a little bit further north, and decided to move up to Aiken when I accepted the job here. Now I'm here.
That's awesome. And we're excited to have you here. That's quite a lot of schooling and a lot of education that you've got to go through. Yeah. It's not just a study dirt thing, is it? It's pretty serious and involved.
There's a lot more to it. You got to know your plants, you got to know your trees, you got to be able to identify different seeds before they're even a plant. And
yeah, that's cool. That's the way. I mean, you're experts in your field, and it feels really good to know that things I know zero about, there's somebody that really does and is taking care of our natural resources, because, it is naturally better here in Aiken County.
I've heard.
I had to get that in there. I get paid to say that, so we like to say that every now and then, and I appreciate everything you're doing to keep our natural resources clean and healthy and all of that. I was looking in the website itself, and I saw that you guys you work in 5 different areas, it looks like, on the website. Mm-hmm. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about each one of those if we could. Starting with serving woodland landowners. That's one of the first ones. What does that mean to our listeners?
So obviously Aiken County has a vast majority of natural resources in it, and we like to pinpoint all the different ones. So going into forestry or woodland landowners, there are people who own quite a few acres of woodlands and want to protect it for years to come. A really good example of that is one of our supervisors, Frank Turnock. He has, I think, 600 acres of woodland that he wanted to protect and be able to give to his kids one day. So a couple years ago, when he decided that he wanted to protect it, decided to put it into a stewardship plan and then put it as a SFIA, which is Sustainable Forestry Incentive Act. There we go.
There you go. So protection.
Yep. And so no one can build on it. No one can do anything to harm the woodland in any way. So that was one of the things that he really wanted to do, because he knew that he wasn't going to farm that land or build on that land, so he wanted to protect it. So now he's able to pass it on to his daughters one day, and they can continue going with it. And the nice thing about it is you get a tax incentive from it, because it's a tax incentive program. So in his case, he's able to pay for the taxes on that land with the tax incentive money that he's getting from keeping this in this program. And there's different ways that you can do it. You can do 10 years, 50 years, or 8 years, I think. I don't run the program, so I'm not familiar with all of the numbers, but I think that's what it is. And you need 40 acres to get into the program, but you're able to. So Sam right now is going to be the one that can write these stewardship plans, and they need to be renewed every few years, and then that can help you get into this program and protect those woodland acres.
So Sam Siebold is the guy that if you have woodland landowners, and if you're a woodland landowner and you're looking at protecting some of your areas or that type of thing, Sam is the guy to take care of that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, so he'd be the one that you reach out to right now, at least. We'll see. If that changes.
That's awesome. That seemed to cover the woodland, and then I saw shoreland and wetland landowner service, which just a basic guy like me tells me it's got something to do with water. So what
pretty
is that
good.
exactly?
Yeah, that's definitely right. So shoreline landowners, if you're a cabin owner on a lake, sometimes you notice that there's erosion happening or there's soil sloughing into the lake and you're noticing that maybe the water is a little bit murkier than normal. That's a good indicator that soil's moving from your shoreline into the water. So Chelsea Kobernick can help with that by giving you advice on maybe you need to put rock in to help protect that soil from moving down into the water, or maybe it's just simple as planting more native plants to help protect the soil. And she can kind of guide you on that process of what's the best option for you. And then going along with wetlands too, the Soil and Water is on the TEP board, which is for WACA or Wetland Conservation Act. So we're in partner with Planning and Zoning and help on those restoration orders to help if a wetland gets filled, we can provide input on how to restore that wetland back to some of its natural state.
Which is, again, very important in our area to continue to protect our natural resources. We have, I think it's over 50% of our county might be wetlands or that type of category.
Yeah.
And that's amazing that, there's reasons why the water is as clean as it is here. Other areas of the state cannot say that same thing.
Yeah.
That everything is as clean and future natural resources are looking so good up here. So
yeah.
It's great that we have people in that. There's also ag land management. Now that's farmland, right?
Yep.
So same thing, protection.
Yeah.
Different programs. If you have a farm or agricultural land.
Yep.
They can come and who takes care of that?
That would be me.
That's you. You're the dirt lady.
I'm the dirt lady.
I love it.
We don't call it dirt though because dirt is displaced. Soil is in the ground.
See? That's why we have experts, everyone.
But yeah, we have soil health practices where you can implement cover crops. We have a no-till drill that we can rent out, or landowners can rent out to plant cover crops or crops with little to no tillage. We also have a drone seeder, so we are able to aerial seed cover crops over your land. So if it gets too wet, because we are in a very wet county, we have the option to do a drone seeding.
So you provide all those services at SWCD?
Yep.
I wonder how many people actually know that.
I don't know.
Probably the people that need to know.
Yeah.
But that's amazing to me that like drone seeding, where they just drop seeds from, is that literal?
Yep.
Drop the seeds from the drone?
Yep. Yeah, it has a tank on it. We can hold up to 55 pounds on it. Has a 9-foot wingspan.
Wow.
And when it folds down, it fits into our escape. So it's easy to transport, and
That's really cool. Do you do that yourself?
Yep.
Are you the one flying the drone?
Yep. I have my drone license.
Drone pilot?
Yep. Yeah, it's fun. It's really easy too because you just have to set your map and go, and then it'll broadcast seed. So
now, is that something also that you had to go to school or training for to be a drone? I mean, you can't just get a drone pilot's license, can you?
Not for government use. If you're getting paid to do it, you need a license. So it's a 60-question test, so I just had to do a little bit of studying and was able to take it over here at the airport. So not too bad.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive. There were a couple of other ones that I saw in there, urban and rural impact. Can you explain that to me a little bit?
Yeah, so that's a lot of it just runoff from buildings and streets. We want to try and protect stormwater runoff from going into the Ripple River or the Mississippi River. We have both those running right through Aiken specifically, and so small acts like maybe putting a rain garden in your yard to collect some of that runoff from your roof or your driveway. It's just simple acts like that, and everyday landowners can do that themselves. They don't need a whole lot of help from us. And we actually, in our plant sale, we have a rain garden kit that you can buy from us, and it has 36 different plugs that you can plant in a small area, and you can make your own rain garden that way.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So I don't know if jurisdiction is the right word, but you mentioned, other counties as well as this one. Your coverage goes right into the cities and it doesn't matter if you're from Hill City or McGregor or Aiken. If you have questions or need help with anything like that, are you the urban and rural impact person as well?
I mean, I can provide advice. Chelsea does a little bit more on the rain garden sides. we all have pretty good knowledge, so if you just want to call our main line and we can direct you to whichever way that it would best fit.
Yeah, perfect. And then the last thing I saw on there sounded really fancy. It said Wetland Conservation Act.
Yep, so we just touched on that a little bit.
Okay.
The WACA part.
Got it.
So that's the one that we're in partnership with Planning and Zoning, and then there's also people from the DNR. It's a whole group of people, and so if someone doesn't get a permit or does fill in their wetland when they're not supposed to, that's kind of how the Wetland Conservation Act comes into play. That's to protect these wetlands. I don't know when it was established, but it was established as a state law, and it's to help protect the wetlands. So there's this TEP board. I don't know what the acronym means. There's too many acronyms in our world. And they get together and go through these violations, and then the Soil and Water helps to provide the restoration orders. So what they need to do to help put that wetland back to its former glory, basically.
Sure. And, you've mentioned a lot of different programs and the word help and support. And I think that's what's most important, is that everyone understands that you guys are here to help, right?
Yep.
The environmental services also are here to help.
Mm-hmm.
It's much better to make a phone call and understand what needs to be done than to try to solve for it later. So those of you out there listening that are planning to build something or put a garage in, call us. Don't hesitate to reach out, because that's what's going to make the difference and make it easier on everybody.
Yeah.
So please do that.
It's one less step that you have to take, honestly, is just making that first call and figuring out what you have to do. Because what I like to say is, we're from the government, but we are actually here to help. We want to be a help, and we want you guys to get what you want to see out of your land too, because ultimately it's your land and we want it to look the way that you want it to look, but we have to follow certain regulations to make sure we're not ruining other people's properties down the road too.
Yeah, that's important. And you guys are experts in the field, and you've worked and studied long hours to become that expert. Take advantage of that support that you have at the county and at SWCD to make sure that you're getting your answers. We have a responsibility. We all have a responsibility to make sure that we're protecting our natural resources in our area. That's from an economic development standpoint, that's one of our unique factors, is that everybody wants to come here to go on our lakes and our river trails and go into the woods and make sure that they're out there doing all these fun things.
Yeah.
But they also have to protect that so it stays. So
yeah.
There's your lesson for today. Please get a hold of everybody or anybody if you have questions. There were a couple of things that, we wanted to talk about, events a little bit and things like that. And I saw on there, you mentioned the plant sale. Is there an annual plant sale that SWCD does?
Yep. So we do a plant and tree sale. So that we're open right now with it, and then it closes. Well, the tree sale closes when trees are sold out, and then the plant sale closes sometime in April. And then you order them now, and then they get delivered in May. So then you pick them up. I think it's the last 2 days before fishing opener, so the Thursday and Friday. We like to catch people that are coming up, because some people order who live in the cities but come up to the cabins. So we try to catch them on those days, and then you can pick them up then, right when it's ready to plant. Hopefully we have enough moisture to plant, and yeah, it's pretty slick.
So this is going on right now?
Yep.
And how can they? How do you get it? How do you do it?
So currently we are trying to build a online shop. We're hoping to have that live by the end of the week. If you want to order right now and don't want to wait, you can come into our office. We have order forms with us. We're located in the government building on the second floor, co-located with Planning and Zoning. Or you can give us a call and we can email you the order form too.
Nice. You guys are kind of teammates with the environmental services team, right? So.
Yep. Yeah, we work together quite a bit. So that's why it's easy to catch both of us and get advice from both of us.
I like it. And then also I saw Lake and River...
Rivers and Lakes Fair.
Rivers and Lakes Fair,
yep.
Sorry. Yep.
Nope, that's okay. We've been doing it since 1987, I think. So it's been going on for quite a while. We missed a couple years during COVID, but it's been an annual fair that we do. This year it's June 14th. It's usually always that Saturday before Father's Day, and it's just us. We do it at Long Lake Conservation Center, and it's a way for you to learn more about natural resources, get to know some of the people that are working in the county. We have vendors from the DNR. We have Talon Metals there. We have Tamarack Water Alliance there. We have Long Lake staff showcasing all that they do. And then we have just different presentations too that you can go and see. I think this year we're doing a lot of stuff on forestry. So if you want to learn a little bit more about forestry practices and how to manage buckthorn, that's going to be one of our topics. But it's just a way to get people out, see Long Lake for one, and then learn a little bit more about natural resources.
Yeah, Long Lake is another hidden gem that we have in our county that we need to talk more about in the future. But
yeah.
That seems like that's a really well-attended event.
Yeah.
A lot of people showing up for that, getting out and seeing that type of thing.
Yeah, we get quite a few people, and it's fun. I am the committee chair on that board, so I spend a lot of time planning for River and Lakes Fair. We just had our first planning meeting last month, so.
Already planning for 2025.
Yes.
Do you have a date set yet?
June 14th.
June 14th,
Yep.
2025. Say it again.
River and Lakes Fair.
River and Lakes Fair. I knew I was going to get it wrong no matter what. You also mentioned, Veronica, that you have podcasts that you guys have also started at
Yep.
SWCD. Where can we find those podcasts? And what are they about?
We have our YouTube channel, Aiken County Soil and Water Conservation District. So if you just look that up on YouTube, you can find us. And we also have them on our website linked. So if you go to our website, you can find them. And our wonderful intern, Emil, was able to get this started for us. He's our Conservation Corps member, and he was able to hit the ground running with our podcasts. And we range from a couple different topics. We've talked about shoreline restoration with our shoreline tech. We talked with Frank Turnock about his history on the board and everything that he's been doing. We have another one coming up about forestry practices from a Natural Resource Conservation Service employee. We had Dr. Alec Lackman on the podcast talking about his buffalo fish study. Mm-hmm. That one was really interesting. But it's just, we're interviewing different staff. We're trying to get our name out there and talk about what we all do and kind of dig a little bit deeper in each one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's been fun.
That's really similar to what Coffee with the County is. And, the outreach to all of the listeners and the citizens and the residents of our area, that's what I think every one of our organizations is trying to accomplish is to make sure that you all know that we're here to help and support you and try to get that word out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Any other topics that come to mind that you want to talk about right now?
We also have a newsletter that we send out every other
Awesome.
month. So if that's something that people want to hop on, that's also on our website. We have a subscribe button that you can get to, and that's been a lot of fun writing those. And those are kind of the same thing, just a little bit. We have a Meet the Staff portion where we have our staff member explain who they are and what they do and why they got into it. We have just a quick little article on different topics kind of pertaining to what's going on weather-wise and stuff like that, but that's a lot of fun. I like to write stuff, so.
You're not just the dirt lady. I can't call you that anymore, can I? Is that offensive, dirt lady?
I've been called the plant lady. I've had a lot of different natural resource names.
Well, I called you expert like 4 times already.
I'll take that.
Take expert because that's truly what you are.
But other than that, we're just trying to also get outreach out to the county and let them know who we are and the citizens too, because it's important. One thing that we get annoyed with as soil and water staff is, the county's out here, but we're not really the county, we're the soil and water district. So I like to nicely correct people because we're not from the county, but we're located in the county.
Absolutely.
So
different organizations working together to try to accomplish the same things. So
which is the best part, in my opinion.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Veronica, thank you for coming in and visiting with me today. I can't wait to get you back in and talk about the different events that are coming up for 2025 and do some more specific talks on anything SWCD. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate you coming in.
Of course.
All right. You're listening to Coffee with the County.